My name is Tom Lelyo. I'm your ultimate jet guide, and here we pull back the curtain on private aviation to help you buy or sell a private jet without wasting time or losing money. Today, we're going to be talking about being professionally persistent. And the reason that this came up is because I had a buddy of mine reach out. Shout out to Luke. What's up, man? And he was just like, hey, Tom, like I've sent out a couple of proposals. I talked to a bunch of people. They seem really keen and interested on following up with my services. But then, a day or two goes by and I get crickets and I'm just not sure how to follow up. And really what it came down to, oh, what's up, Max? Oh, that's cool, man. Appreciate it. Really what it came down to, he was just looking for permission to follow up. He was looking for permission because all of our lives we've been trained and programmed, like, don't follow up. Don't badger anyone. Don't pester anybody. Don't be annoying. And while I agree with that, you shouldn't be annoying to people. There are certain principles that if you apply them to your follow-up framework or your follow-up plan of attack, that will help give yourself permission to feel good about following up with someone, because following up with someone is a sign that shows that you care about them. So let me pull these up for you. Get your notebooks out today. Let's talk about the principles of follow-up. Principle number one is set up the next step. What is the next step? And this is something that you kind of have to do before you make the call. This is something that you have to do before you even, get on the phone with someone, is what's the next step? So if you're calling someone for a listing, what is the next step? Well, maybe you want to send them a proposal, a listing proposal. Maybe you want to send them a market report. Maybe you just plan on following up with them when they're getting out of maintenance, because what are your options? So I just gave you three right there. So one option, depending on how the call goes, could be send them a listing proposal. They're interested. Another option could be send them a market report. They're not interested in selling right now, but they're curious to see what the market's doing right now. Another option would be to schedule a follow-up when something happens. So he might say, follow up with me after the holidays. They might say, follow up with me after it's out of maintenance. Okay. So once you have those things, then you can go ahead and follow up that way. Sorry, 1 second. I just need to just got a message in our circle community. If you're not in our circle community, you got to check this out. This is on circle. You go to go.theultimatejetguide.com/circle. Let's see, live training. And so we had one of our brokers messaging like, hey, I'm here for the training. Where is everybody? So we didn't know where we're supposed to be. Okay. So figure out what the next step is going to be. So that way, when you're on the phone call, you have the tools ready to go. You're ready to send a market report. You're ready to send a listing proposal. You're ready to schedule, put it in your Google Calendar. So you have what the next step is going to be. Principle number 2, follow up until somebody dies or somebody buys. This is your permission. This is your opportunity now. This is your ticket or your green light to say, hey, listen, you got to follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Statistics show us that people don't buy or make a decision until the 5th, 7th, 10th, 12th interaction that you're going to have with someone. Anthony knows this, right? Yep. Call to action. Exactly, Anthony. Appreciate it. Max, thanks for the DM. Appreciate you stopping by. But we know this. Like, most people aren't going to make a decision or take the next step unless you follow up with them at least 5 to 10 times. And so what is your follow-up look like? So you have the primary next step or the call to action, which is listing report, market report, maintenance. But what are your secondary follow-up tools? And that's where, email automations might come in. So you're talking with someone, they're open to be, you're strategic now. You're calling a specific market. You're calling the citation Excels, right? And a little bit about the citation Excels. You're following the news with the Excel. So maybe you set up in your email automations. You're like, hey, can I have your email so I can follow up? They give it to you. You drop them in there. And so right away, as soon as you drop it in there, it sends them an email. Hey, great talking to you. Here's my contact information. You can save it if and when you decide you want to move forward. Then maybe a week later, you have it trigger off a news about the citation Excels, or what some of your favorite things about the Excels. What makes the Excels unique? What are some of the common upgrade paths from the Excels? Or what maybe you send them, you're trying to engage them. It's an automatic email. Hey, I know a lot of people came from the CJ world into the Excels. Maybe you ask them, what did you upgrade from, in an email form? That way you're still on their radar, and you're just little touch points. It drops them into an automation so that they get emails from you now over the holidays, right? So what are your secondary follow-up. So this idea of follow-up till somebody dies or somebody buys, it really goes to what is your plan for follow-up. So you have an initial call to action, which is, yeah, I got to call them back after they review the proposal, after the market report, after they get done with maintenance. But what's your secondary, almost ongoing follow-up? Can you plan something out? We can talk about that. My ability to follow up will outlast the competition. Yes. Calendar events, remind them to follow potential clients, active clients. Yes. So Anthony's got it over there on Instagram. Calendar reminders are awesome. So I want you guys to understand a couple of things. High net worth individuals, they are busy. Okay. And so what that means is by you going to them, like that's just how this works. They're busy people. They have people that come to them to solve problems. And that's going to be important in just a second. We talk about solving problems. Number two, high net worth individuals are master negotiators and salesmen themselves. So they're almost, this is how you prove yourself. This is your testing grounds. So if you can follow up with someone who's a high net worth individual and they're good at follow up, their game respects game, if you will. And so don't neglect the follow-up, because the follow-up is part of your presentation. It's part of presenting yourself to a potential client to say, hey, I'm real. Okay, I care about solving this problem for you. I care about providing value to you. I'm here. I'm going to show up each and every day. If you show up in the follow-up, that's showing them that when it comes time for a deal, you're going to show up for them in the deal. Number three, no, not number three. This is still under the permission. Hey, follow up till somebody dies or somebody buys. The point of follow up is that the people you're trying to connect with, they have a problem and you have a solution. That means you have an obligation to follow up. And so if you don't know what the problem that you're solving is, then you got two issues. Either one, you don't understand your company, your brand, your overall, like, why am I selling jets? What's the problem that you're solving? And number two, maybe you don't understand or you didn't do a good job in the fact finding of the call. So like I said at the very beginning, my name's Tom. I'm the ultimate jet guide. I help you buy or sell private jets without wasting time or losing money. So my goal, the problem I'm solving for you as a seller, is I don't want you to waste time talking to a bunch of people, and I don't want you to waste time with tire kickers, and I don't want you to lose any money. We want to get you as much money as possible. So how do I you got a problem you want to sell, you don't want to waste time, you don't want to lose money. This is how I solve the problem. Now, I just pitched that in the first call, but then my secondary follow-ups need to prove, hey, I'm here to help you not waste time and not lose money. Okay. And then secondarily, during my fact finding, I need to find out, hey, why do you want to sell? What's the impetus to sell? Well, I got to sell this before the end of the year because tax purposes, or I need to liquidate this as quickly as possible because I lost my medical and I don't want to just keep holding it because the hangar's costing me $10,000 a month. Or the charter company I was with went under and I just don't want to use this anymore. This has been a big headache. I want to get with. So what are the problems that you're solving for them, and take ownership of them, take responsibility of them. That gives you permission to follow up. Like, that's just it. You're afraid to follow up because you don't understand what problems you're solving. Both big picture problems, help them save time, not waste time and not lose money, and specific problems for the people that you're talking to. Tom, I need to sell this jet now because X, Y, and Z. So, hey, what's up, Ryan? What's up? Hola, mami. Principle number one was set up the next step. Principle number two was follow up till somebody dies or somebody buys. Principle number three is your follow-up should establish authority. Okay. You're not someone that's just like, oh, please, 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 let me sell your jet. Okay, please. I'm just going to keep calling you. Hey, just following up, just checking in. Hey, what's the story? Like, that's not it. You are establishing authority. So it shows, number one, that you're a person of your word. You do what you say you're going to do. So put the calendar reminders out there. Call them when you say you're going to call them. Okay. At the same time, it also shows them like, hey, listen, I am a professional. This is what I do 24/7. Okay. I'm not a pilot or a mechanic with a hobby. I'm a full-time jet broker. I'm here. You call me. I'm going to answer. Let's go. So there's that. And it also shows, you're not just, there's a strategy behind what you're doing. You're not just calling, hoping to find somebody. There's a strategy. You're going to educate them throughout this process. Like I said, you're going to send them market reports. You're going to send them updates. You're going to send them emails that apply and provide value. And we're going to talk about providing value in just a second. And lastly, it shows that you care. People buy from people that they like. People like people who like them. By providing follow up, you show that you like somebody. Time is our most valuable asset. And by following up with someone, I'm expressing to them like, you are worthy of my time. I want to talk to you. I want to speak with you. I want to earn the right to be worthy of your time as well, as a professional and as someone that you can like and enjoy having the conversation with. Some guys just enjoy talking about aviation, and you're that guy, right? They're surrounded by work. Hey, what's up, Jackson? They're surrounded by work. They're surrounded by all these things, and they're just looking for somebody to talk aviation with because it's an escape for them. You're that guy. You're talking to them. Hey, let's get that. I know you don't need the money, but I'm sure there's better things you can do with, $2, $3, $4 million for this Excel. So let's get that in there. Let's get into this business deal, or let's upgrade you. Let's go to the Sovereign or the 10. Like, this is going to be awesome. We're having fun. Okay. Be somebody that people like, and your follow-up should reflect that, right? Not just, hey, I'm calling up, following up, I'm checking in. Be someone that they like, and they'll answer you. So number one principle, set up the next step. Number two principle, follow up until somebody dies or somebody buys. Number three principle, establish authority. Okay. So value can be education. You're educating them on the market. You're educating on them what's new and available in the industry, whatever. It can also be entertainment. I send guys videos of dude perfect airplane stereotypes because I just think it's hilarious. That's part of my brand is I want to have fun and be funny with my clients. So I will send them, hey, I was thinking of you. I'll send them memes. I'll send them GIFs. I'll cut out photos of myself and create stickers and be like, hey, just, trying to check in and seeing where we last left off. What's the story? So it should provide value, whether that's entertaining or educational. You can provide value for the aircraft itself. Hey, I know you were talking about, you have a big inspection coming up. I researched it. Here are a couple great shops that have good references. Or I know you're looking for a part. Here's this. It could be, I know you're looking for pilots. I know you're looking for an upgrade, whatever it might be. You're providing value as it relates to the aircraft. And then again, value as it relates to an individual. You find out that they're big Ohio State fans. Well, you see there's an Ohio Michigan game going on. You send them a text message. Hey man, I was just thinking of you, with Ohio, and that, hey, cool. Like this guy, they're in their minds like, wow, this guy actually listened to me. And he's, I've never gotten that from a cold caller, before. And if I did, it would pique my interest. So principle number one, set up the next step. What's the next call to action? Number two, follow up until somebody dies or somebody buys. You have permission to follow up with somebody aggressively. So what I mean by that is call them the next day, right? Call them the day after that. Call them a week later. Like, just stay engaged because people are so busy. It's easy to get. And what's nice about social media is that once you get them on your social media, if you're making content on a daily, consistent basis, then they can connect with you. And it's a two-way street now. They're learning from you. You're connecting with them. And it becomes less important for you to call them all the time, because they can connect with you, which is awesome. Number three, establish authority. Follow-up should establish authority. Number four, follow-up should provide value. One big tip I'm going to give you guys, I know a lot of people in their follow-up, and they this is where they fail, is they call and say, hey, I'm just calling to follow up, or hey, I'm just calling to check in. And I do this sometimes too because I get lazy. The reality is the only reason why you're saying I'm just calling to follow up, yes, build rapport, Ryan, exactly. Only reason I call and I say I'm just following up is because I am being lazy. I haven't taken the time to consider how I could reach to them and provide value or build authority. And so I'm just going to follow up. I'm just going to check in. Or maybe it's also that I've been lazy and I haven't set up my calendar invites. I haven't set up my secondary follow-up so I can send them, holiday stuff. I can send them information about a make and model, that sort of a thing. Hey, Dan, what's up? Yo, Danny, how you doing? Oh my gosh, good to see you. That's very okay. Now we get nervous a little bit. So this idea of I'm just calling to check in, I'm just calling to follow up, it doesn't work, and it doesn't establish you as an authority figure. So I'm going to give you a couple of great resources in just a second. But here's a few things that you can say if you're calling someone and you want to follow up with them. Number one, hey, I just had time to get back to you. Hey, Bill, I know we talked about the Excel a couple weeks ago. I just had time. Like, hey, I'm just, I've been so busy, just had time to get back to you. What would you like to do for our next step? Another one I've used before is I just saw this and thought of you. Again, maybe it's a sports reference, maybe it's a change in the market, maybe it's a new listing on the market for, they wanted a 10, they're Citation Excel owners, they wanted a Citation 10. Hey, I just saw this and I thought of you. Provide value to them. Okay, so you can't be lazy with follow-up. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with, hey, I'm just following up, and you get stuck there. So 3 resources I want to leave you guys with, and I appreciate you checking out this live stream today. Number 1, Grant Cardone University. I've used a lot of his sales training. I think there's good stuff to be found there. If you're not a Cardone fan, that's fine. We got other stuff. Christopher Voss, author of Never Split the Difference, is another one. That's a great book. Another one I would do is Danny Klein, right? So Danny Klein, he's checking out the video right now. Great for salespeople, follow up and sales tips and marketing. And then last but not least, a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Miner. These are all guys that you can find on YouTube and have great ideas and great tactics for following up and for sales professionals. So I highly, highly recommend them. So thanks again for checking out this video. Again, my name is Tom Lelyo. Welcome to the Jet Life Podcast. I'm your ultimate jet guide, helping you buy or sell your private jet without wasting time or losing money. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on private aviation sales, talking about follow-up. If you haven't bought the book yet, check out The Ultimate Jet Guide. I wrote this for buyers, but it's also great for aspiring brokers or current brokers. It goes through everything of the entire sales process, how to buy a jet. Should you buy a jet? Should you charter a jet? Should you invest in a jet? And you'll just get a good overview of how private aviation sales work. If you want to dive deeper into aviation sales, join our free community on Circle. Go to go.theultimatejetguide.com/circle to join our Circle community. The link will be in the YouTube description below. And appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you next Wednesday for our live stream.